has 12 views. That's so impressive. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this evening, we are yet again present with another live stream, trying to learn chess even more, trying to show what we learn and what we experience in the game ahead. Today, we will be having rapid games, perhaps of 10 minutes, and the 20 minutes, it will be so fun to commentary, so fun to comment, so fun to play, and so fun to watch alongside us. Let's begin. Khatri, may I have your screen, please? Wait, it is buffering, Mr. Khatri. The stream has ended. Unfortunately, it says. Well, I have your screen right here, Mr. Khatri. Pardon me, Mr. Khatri. That was really unfortunate technical difficulties that I was facing. Now I'm ready. Let's have some fun. You can begin the play. Yes, let's have some fun, buddy. Begin with we have an Indian player. We begin with e4, responded back with e5. We have knight coming out. Perhaps Khatri was anticipating some Italian game, but not for this time. That was a pin. The knight is pinned. Khatri sacrifices his queen. Oh my god. But I don't think Black spotted that because that was really a blunder, I believe. Yes, Khatri, that was a blunder. You must have some sort of distraction right there. So you committed that. Yes, Khatri is having some confusion with regards to squares for his queen. He is not finding proper squares, yet he goes to f2. The bishop comes pinning the knight, but immediately other bishop steps up, protecting the knight against the pin, breaking the pin. The bishop on b4 was attacked, and the bishop has moved a little bit towards the left side diagonal to a5 square. This castle from Mr. Khatri. The queen has been attacked. Perhaps Khatri is anticipating some sort of bishop exchange there, but I don't think black has been really interested in exchanging the bishop there. Black is taking some time, however, Khatri is lacking behind in terms of time. We are not used to the pawn on c5 has been unprotected, but Khatri missed that. Oh my god, I don't know if that's some sort of tactic, but opponent player has hung his knight on c4 square, and Khatri is more than happy to take that, I believe. Yes, he does take that, and again the pawn on c5 also not protected well because bishop is attacking, the queen is attacking, the pawn is on. Khatri has gone for a bishop exchange there, perhaps taking with the pawn more, maybe not most accurate move there, but yet that's the reality. Khatri must take the pawn on b4, and yes, he does take. Here we may see some sort of rook exchange. Khatri is up for some rook exchange here. Perhaps opponent black player has been missing some good moves here. Not making properly accurate moves here. Black player took a whooping time of 13 seconds to make that move. And Khatri wants to push the pawn, make some strong pawn chain. The pawn on b5 seems pretty well protected by knight and the bishop. Maybe he wants to extend his rooks. Either way, I think Khatri has some winning advantage here. The knight on f6 was attacked immediately. Okay, Khatri wants to build some central pawn chain here perhaps. But there are some constraints here to be considered. The knight can hop in. The bishop can be so powerful if knight is active in the center. The double pawn on b5 can be a real problem for Mr. Black. Well, Mr. Khatri, I suggest you not to speak because I cannot understand what you are saying. Well, again, I want to emphasize that I don't understand Chinese and any other Korean form of Mandarin language. So, Khatri, well, maybe Khatri is under the water. The pawn on b7 is unprotected. On the other hand, on the other side of the board, but there's a square coming up. Maybe you refer it as a fork. Okay, Khatri is trying to mock a spatial community. Maybe that's not socially accepted norm here. Okay, Mr. Khatri, I would like to take our 2 minute break and join in with mobile phones so I can really understand you. You seem really interested. You seem really desperate to speak in the stream. So I would like to have an interaction with you. Wait a minute, I'll come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm back with a mobile phone. I think it will be better. Khatri, please speak something. Yes, now you are audible. Now you are speaking in English. So, Mr. Khatri, what sort of tactic are you looking for in this game? Do you think you have a winning advantage in this game? Well, you are trying to create some stereotypical words here. I don't really appreciate that in community play like chess. But well, Mr. Khatri, you are trying to exchange your queen there. Perhaps not the best move here. The pawn on b6 has been attacked. The knight has been attacked. Perhaps I was wrong, and it is the best move, I believe. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Khatri is from 1970, so he has a microphone like that, and we cannot understand him even in latest smartphone. The pawn was unprotected. There was no possible ways to protect it. The knight again perhaps will jump to d6, giving a check to the king. No, that is not the case here. I think the queen. I think the king has to be centralized now by Mr. Khatri to win this game. Attack, create some positional play. Well, Mr. Khatri, there's a little check in my home. I must shut my mic for a minute. Coming into the end game, we are seeing king into the action. The king has been really active, both of sides playing equal position here. However, Mr. Khatri may have some leading advantage, a thin line, a slim chances of winning this game, perhaps. Well, that's your overconfidence, Mr. Khatri. I must caution you, overconfidence really kills, but well, okay, let's see what happens. The Almighty will unveil everything. Okay, the pawn structure will be locked that way, and Mr. Khatri goes for a lock structure. I don't know what Mr. Khatri is doing here. Okay, I see his idea. The king have to be moved away from here, and eventually the pawn will be taken on c5. Whoa, that was a great tactic from Mr. Khatri, and now suddenly Mr. Khatri has a clearly winning advantage in this game. Wow, that was really impressive, Mr. Khatri. I really have to appreciate. And also, I want to caution you against stalemate. Stalemate is really possible if you continue to push your pawn. And no, I don't think you seem to be continuing pushing your pawn. But you have to be really cautious, okay? Okay, Khatri has turned to Hikaru instead of Sikaru here. Well, I was I was constantly intimidating you with the idea of stalemate, and I don't know. I don't know, man, if pre-booking like Hikaru was so truthful. But uh, you sure you have to talk every time you're winning, man. That was overconfidence. I must say, I was really warning you against that threat, but you seem to overlook my threat, and ultimately you had to bear your consequence.
Yes, man, of course it was overconfidence. Let's leave that game aside. And to begin with, in this game, we have Queen's Pawn opening followed by accelerated London system. In most of the London system, I see a locked pawn position in the mid game, and even in the end game. Let's see what happens in this game if we see some crazy pawn fortress or not. Yes, Khatri is trying to build some crazy pawn fortress, and this is a typical accelerated London system where we see some locked pawn chain and eventually followed by a draw. But let's see what happens in this game. Khatri is playing with white pieces. The knight threatens to jump to c4 square, but I don't think Khatri is intimidated by that move. And okay, the knight wants to invade into Mr. Khatri's position. Perhaps taking with bishop is most instinctive and natural move to make. Whoa, Khatri has some other plans, I believe. Khatri wants to move his pawn, followed by queen, making the queen going forward. The knight will jump, taking with bishop, and all. Khatri has some good plans in his head, but I don't think an implementation level Khatri is that much of expert, because we saw an stalemate, amazing stalemate the other game. That was shameful, Mr. Khatri, not even blunder. Oh my god, Khatri is playing a real positional gameplay here. He is trying to capture and control all over the center, and I think after this moves, Khatri have a leading advantage, I think. Khatri must win. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Khatri, that's the story of life. We'll have to give everything for something, and in the end, we will not have that thing. I said earlier, Mr. Khatri has some leading advantage in this game. Khatri will win eventually, I believe. And if the pawn is pushed, immediately the knight will be taken. The rook on a8 will be vulnerable. Everything seems going good for Mr. Khatri. Khatri is anticipating to give check. Yes, he does give the check, but I think c7 is protected by knight. You can, and you may play a fearless game, but again, do not bring guilt to, do not bring guilt to the system, man. Oh my god, that was a pinning and skewer move, but the pawn will push, and eventually we wouldn't get the skewer. Mr. Khatri, what do you mean by skewer? Explain me about skewer. Okay, after that inaudible voice from Mr. Khatri, I would like to continue with the game. In the mid game, we have some pawn structure in D, E, F file, respectively. The tension on C5 has been rising continuously, more than 11 points of tension. Again, Khatri has some good central control here, but the black player can move forward. For now, Khatri has restricted black king on e7. However, black can't on the table. Khatri may choke anytime here. Oh my god, that was amazing spotting from Mr. Black. He spotted on unprotected unprotected piece there, but Khatri immediately goes for the take. perhaps followed by queen exchange taken with the bishop, I believe. Will the player be interested in that? Yes, he will be. And bishop immediately moves diagonally on c7 square to take the queen. It was fair trade, but does Khatri have good follow-up for that move? That's the real question here. The king of Mr. Black is really vulnerable, really weak. The bishop hasn't moved even a single square yet. It has been sleeping all day there. Well, Mr. Khatri, you don't have to self-analyze your game. Khatri is trying to intimidate the bishop, the knight on b4, trying to kick it away. Maybe Mr. Khatri is anticipating to lock the knight and take it, but the knight immediately jumps. Ignoring Mr. Khatri, we would like to continue with our self-evaluation. Here, the king of Mr. Black is really weak. The bishop on g3 is really strong for Mr. Khatri. The light squared bishop seems a little weak, little inactive there, but yet controls its diagonal beautifully. The knight, Mr. Black's knight, moves to c3. I don't think it has some good utility, but Khatri left the pawn on f3, f3 unprotected. Okay, Mr. Khatri, you have to admit that was your mistake. Yet again, Khatri is trying to leave his pawn on f3 unprotected. I don't know if he loves his pieces or not, or if he wants to be heroic Sigma male by not caring what the opponent does with his pieces. We are not able to say our idiom today. Khatri never misses with black pieces because he hasn't got any. I said to you, Mr. Khatri, that was unprotected. Maybe that was an intentional mistake from your side. Such mistakes are, of course, not acceptable in this position, but you are committing such mistake. I don't know if you have some matter of shame or not, if you feel a little bit of guilt or not. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, yet again the pawn on e4 was attacked and Khatri immediately pushed his pawn on f2 to protect it. Oh man, the rook has been trapped for real, but the rook can abstain from the trap and now it cannot. The rook has been trapped. Ooh. Oh yes, Mr. Khatri, you must go for some tactic if you want to really win that rook. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yet we have a twist in the game. The rook was not trapped. Instead, nothing happened. Let's see if Mr. Khatri has some good backup plan against that failing of trap plan. I must say, I don't favor pre-booking every move here. I'm not able to interpret that all at once. Now the other rook has moved to b8, trying to make it active. Mr. Khatri is now going for all in exchange. Perhaps he wants some uh, boring end game, we must say. Okay, Mr. Khatri has his own way of playing, but of course we do not respect his way, and after all, he must win anyhow, anyways. Perhaps Khatri can have some winning position hereafter, but Khatri isn't able to find one because the rook on f4 is really inactive. It is equivalent to not having it in the game, and Mr. Khatri isn't able to capitalize upon that. I don't know what sort of idea is Khatri possessing here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Khatri is absolutely speaking from International Space Station, and he is trying to hover around this place. We must have some good software to interpret his language, create a transcript out of it. For now, getting into the game, Mr. Khatri was trying to attack the pawn, but the queen, so the king stepped forward to save it. Oh, perhaps Khatri might have some pinning and winning idea there. Yes, that's the idea, but I don't think that's a feasible one because the pawn are all protecting the rook. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Khatri is trying to make some good tactic, create some winning advantage, but I think Khatri will yet again choke. I don't think it will end in a draw because draw isn't an optimal result in a chess if you analyze with heuristic evaluation chart, and if we analyze your position, the opponent player have one point worth of advantage here, and 1 point of worth of advantage is a much bigger advantage in the end game. When the opponent has a passing pawn on b6 square, it can move anytime for its way of glory. Okay, Mr. Khatri, let's see what sort of good anticipations you can do, and let's play that move. Actually, give the check, please, give the check. If you are so confident about that, please give the check away, and let's see what happens. And if you are commenting on my analysis, I'm definitely not gonna leave it away. I'm definitely not overlooking it. You must take and you must prove it to me that your analysis is good. I'm really offended here in this rapid game, ladies and gentlemen. Khatri has offended me with disappointment in my analysis. Khatri doesn't know my years worth of experience. I'll come to this point where Khatri is disappointed with my analysis. I don't think I can withstand it anymore. It's a very toxic work culture here. Khatri is all set to take the rook on f3. Yes. Oh, Khatri was not ready for that. Now Khatri can again give the check, I believe. Yes. Yeah. Yes, he does give the check, and Khatri is ready to rock and roll in this position. Now Khatri equalized the position. Perhaps I think taking with the H pawn is more plausible idea here. Yes, it was. I think it is more or less a draw position. As I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, the accelerated London system eventually comes down to the pawn position, making far more deciding with the pawn passing pawn and all, and eventually ending in a draw. I mentioned it earlier as well, and I mentioned such thing. I was such far-sighted person in the earliest of the game, and Mr. Khatri was disappointed with my analysis. I don't know what sort of judgment is that. I am really disappointed with that. Mr. Khatri, oh my God! Now Mr. Khatri will have a passer pawn, I believe. Oh, now Khatri must protect with his bishop there. But Khatri believes a little different. He has played more than 46 moves in this game, yet no best moves perhaps. Oh, that is a little check from the king here. I must start my mic for a minute. Yet again, I want to take credits, ladies and gentlemen. Once in the middle of the game, I said it won't be draw, and I don't think it will be draw anymore from this position. So obviously, I would like to take that credit as well. Thank you. Now the position of bishop has been quite a bit locked there. Bishop doesn't have any proper squares to move to block the pawn from marching ahead. That's no problem for Mr. Khatri, I believe. Yes, Khatri pushes pawn to the glory. Both of the teams has less than a minute for winning. I think, and Khatri will win this quite easily. It's just about finding the best moves in every position. Khatri must capitalize. Yes, I know, Mr. Khatri, you will eventually win this. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot say that this will not end in a stalemate draw, but I don't think that's plausible for this game. That should not be plausible anyway. Okay, that is a checkmate. Oh no, that's not checkmate yet. Wait, we have some twist remaining. He has a he has 10 he has 10 milliseconds remaining. Perhaps he cannot make any move now. I think Khatri can make any move and he will win on time. But no, Khatri wants to get a content out of it. Yes, Khatri wins on time. I think it is good to analyze this game. Again, with with a queen, you will of course eventually win, but it's about finding the right moves, which was not a possible idea for you. Finding the right moves was a far cry for Mr. Khatri. Oh, oh, brilliant! What a brilliant move! With my assistant, everyone gets a 1700. Oh, every move seems to be best move perhaps, but no, not now. Everything is now good move. Pushing the knight towards central squares was not so good. Oh, that was a blunder. Giving away free. Oh my god. Yes, I aware you of that night once, if you remember. Oh yeah. Oh, that was a series of inaccuracy from both of the players. Oh, was a mistake as well. Oh, you have to be. Oh, oh, that was no. I cannot interpret these moves. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just 800 Edo player. Oh, yes, yes. Well, Mr. Khatri, I would like to see the brilliant move. What was the brilliant move here? Huh? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. That's nice. Let's move. I think 10 minutes rapid is a little boring, so let's start with a 5-minute one, please. In context to the attention span of today's generation, we should play a 30-second one, but I don't think we can interpret that. That's very short for us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sicilian defense followed by Nimjo the stick Rossolimo attack. The knight has been attacked, but the pawn will eventually take the knight. Opponent may be up with a point, but the tension on c6 seems to be increasing. The knight can jump to d7, but the knight has protected it. The knight comes to central square. The queen wants to play for a scholar's mate, but I don't think that's a plausible idea here. That's not something that we would see on 1119 Elo. Perhaps we see some great choke for Mr. Khatri, not to highlight them yet again. Oh my god, the pawn on e4 is really unprotected. Only queen protects it, and the pawn is also there for protection. Oh no, I don't think the opponent is a weak player, perhaps. The knight is now attacked, ladies and gentlemen. We must not overlook the position of queen there. The queen can be threat any time, but here there is a counter attack and the bishop followed by taking of the knight. The knight, on the other hand, on f6 has been attacked by bishop, but immediately the other bishop will move forward to protect it. But no, I don't think Khatri seems interested in protecting. He is more interested in counter-attacking the queen. I believe the queen will give an amazing check. Yes, it does. Oh my god, I don't think Khatri had thought of that. The bishop will be pinned there. The double attacking bishops doesn't seem pretty and good to have. Oh, again, I don't think castling was the best move on this position. Perhaps taking a knight on f6 was the best, but white player missed it, and we know Khatri never misses with black pieces. Khatri is ready to attack the queen. Also, there's the threat of taking on h2. The bishop also looks into that. Maybe Khatri will white player missed that, and double attack on rook and queen there. That's a beautiful fork. At least 2 points worth of advantage going to Mr. Khatri there. Khatri is having some winning advantage in the beginning of the game. We must say Khatri is yet not ready to castle, or he is ready to castle but hasn't castled yet. Now he will castle, perhaps. Yes, he will. And now kicking away the bishop seems most making sense move. Oh, Khatri left his queen unprotected. I don't know what Khatri was doing there. I emphasize the fact that Khatri might talk anytime, anywhere. Now Khatri is bringing the ego of the previous game into this game, removing his every moves. I don't know what Khatri is trying to do. Khatri. Has Khatri? Oh, not yet, but Khatri is trying to trap the queen. Now he wants to leave the pawn on h7 unprotected, but that will not be the case for now. Khatri is on a perfect elo of 1-1-1-1. That's binary 1-1-1-1, which comes to 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4. That's 7 plus 8. That comes to 15, meaning Khatri has an elo of 15 here. We are getting distracted from the actual game. I don't know why the rook limb remained unprotected there on it. Khatri maybe is overlooking the position of rook there. He must protect it. I don't think Khatri has some good interest in protecting that. Instead, he wants to trap the pawn or trap the queen, and yes, he has trapped the queen there. I believe queen doesn't have a proper square to move from here. The queen has been trapped, but in what cost, Mr. Khatri? You have lost 7 points worth of advantage. But oh, again, we have to emphasize that Khatri has some good squares in the center. Khatri has really made this position good, and if he somehow manages to take the queen, it will be great for him, obviously. Now, I think the king must move towards the corner and bringing the rook to the back rank and attacking the queen. Oh, yes. The rooks must come to back rank and attack the queen to make some capitalization of trapping of the queen. I believe the pawn on f7 must be moved to protect the rook with the bishop. I don't think Khatri seems interested in taking the queen right away here. Khatri is looking into idea of taking. Oh yeah, the rooks. Oh, okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Khatri has limited moves to play. The knight will come forward. Well, there's a call from Mike. Oh, now Khatri will take the queen, I believe. Yes, he will, ladies and gentlemen, but the Khatri is because continuous choking isn't good, and we should be in good shape to play. That was it from my side, ladies and gentlemen, from today. Good evening, good night, have a nice day, good morning if there's morning in your place, and I will get back to you on next stream with same energy and same entertainment. Thank you for signing in. Okay, peace out. Thank you very much, Khatri. All the best for your play. And now I must go. Thank you.